Good morning, everyone. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an outfit of the day this morning. I have my Ann Taylor Loft cardigan, which is kind of just a long little cardigan. It's supposed to be a wrap, but I just use it without the tie today because I just didn't want to wear it. I have a little black cami that's Ann Taylor Loft as well that has a few buttons down at the bottom or at the top. You can kind of see them there. And then I have some black Ann Taylor Loft like dress pants that I like to wear quite often, and then my white Michael Kors tennis shoes. It's a very, very comfy day. It's actually gonna be a very late day today, so I figured I would dress kind of comfy. Although it is like freaking hot in here. Why is it so hot in here? And then of course I decided to wear a big sweater. Doesn't help. It's been a busy morning so far. I had to make a ton of copies just because I didn't print anything out this morning, or like during the weekend at least. And so I had a lot of things that I had to get done. I did want to kind of talk to you guys what I'm going to do for morning meeting this week. Last week I said that I was going to do the word positive and kind of have my morning meeting revolved around the word positive. However, we ended up not having a ton of morning meeting time. So with everything that we were trying to get done for the first 3 days, just talking about expectations and some routines and procedures, that type of thing, we weren't able to get to it. So this week is going to be like the first full-blown week of like true morning meeting. And we're going to focus on the word positive, like I said. So today's activity, we're going to focus on the handshake for our greeting. We're going to have some discussions about how we can be positive with ourselves today. And then we're going to have something called an awe journal, which is going to look like this, except it's going to be cut up and stapled. But in the awe journal, they're to focus on something positive. So anything that kind of happens, whether they see it on the news, whether they see it in person, they hear about it, anything that will be like a positive moment, they're going to write it down. And I tell my kids that for me, I can't focus on the negative things in life, because if I focus on the negatives, it's really going to bring me down. So I always try to think about the good and the positives that are out there in the world. So they're going to have this awe journal, and every single day they're going to write something that they kind of witness that is a positive or a good thing, so that they can kind of sense and feel that little bit of positivity by focusing on those good pieces. So that's what we have for morning meeting this morning. Then we go into ELA. So during our ELA time, we have a couple of different things that are going to be happening. We're kind of doing double duty because we need to get our kids with books in their hands today. So we're going to introduce to them the library and how the library is now housed here. We're going to introduce the librarians, and their job is to be able to kind of record what book everybody is kind of, what book people are checking out, making sure that books kind of go back where they're supposed to go. I need to make my cart so that my librarians have kind of a cart that they can monitor and keep track of. And then we're also going to work on stamina and building some of that stamina. So we're talking about making good book choices, using books as far as like topics that we have, and what are some topics that we really like, some topics that we enjoy, because if we pick books that are on topics that we like, the engagement is going to be higher. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about stamina. And they're going to have a paper to be able to fill out for their stamina. I have a little booklet that I just kind of launched this last weekend, which is Be a Reader Spy Camp. I am going to go through it in detail, just not right now because I have a ton going on. But that stamina chart is in this. We have taken this little booklet and we've made it into a Nearpod. So it has it kind of broken up by days, so the kids are going to have the Nearpod experience with it. And then they're going to submit it to Schoology through Nearpod, which is going to be a pretty cool little thing. And so as the kids are out and they're practicing their reading, we are going to be taking an engagement inventory. So we're going to be watching our kids for the first 10 minutes and kind of jotting down every 2 to 3 minutes what is it that we're seeing with our kids while they're out there reading. So that's kind of the gist for the morning, and then after that we are going to go into writing and into math, and I will catch you guys up during lunchtime as far as what we are going to do. The morning's gone pretty well. We had kind of some hiccups with our Nearpod, which wasn't a big deal because we were able to work past it. So the kids all pretty much got their books selected today, so they all have a book in their hand, which is really, really nice. Especially seeing how 5th and 4th grade are not going to be able to start selecting books from the main school library until the second cycle, which starts I think on Thursday or Friday. So we're going to go into our writing content, and then we'll have math time. For math, we're going to do some math assessments, just to start kind of getting a basis of where they are. So we're giving them the previous year's, like, end of the year assessment. So if they're 4th graders, they're going to get the 3rd grade end of the year assessment. If they're 5th grade, they're going to get the 4th grade end of the year assessment, and so on and so forth. So we're just going to kind of see what they remember, what they don't remember. And then in writing, we're going to do an activity inside of our Schoology account. So in writing, we're going to take them kind of through the writing process, and today we're going to talk a lot about brainstorming and being able to get inspiration and ideas from different types of media. So we have a bunch of discussions. Can you guys see it? So we have a bunch of discussions down here, and if you click on one of them, the kids are going to automatically see some type of picture. They have a prompt to go with it, and then if they scroll down, they'll be able to kind of write their little discussion down at the bottom. So they're going to come up with some sort of a story that goes with each and every single one of the either pictures or videos. We have poems that are up there. So it's just kind of like an inspiration board. This is also going to allow them to get some practice in Schoology, especially with discussion boards. So that's kind of why we're doing it this way. And then tomorrow they're going to get to pick a story, and that's where they're going to start doing their brainstorming with. And I'm going to have those copied a little bit later on this afternoon. So that's kind of the gist of it. I didn't actually... I was about to say, I didn't check my teeth to see and make sure that I didn't have food in my teeth. I had a very yummy lunch. Actually, I ate what I had left over from yesterday, and then I went and got a Diet Coke because I desperately need one. It's really hot and muggy today, and it's like leaking into the walls, through the walls and the windows, so it's super gross in my classroom right now. I hate it. So I have 3 minutes. I'm gonna run and go to the bathroom, pick my kids up, and we're gonna get started with our writing block. So this morning for my attire, it is supposed to be really, really hot. In fact, they've issued a heat index warning of up to 100 degrees, which is kind of interesting for the north, I'm assuming. So I try to dress as comfortably as possible while at the same time trying to make sure that I was going to melt today. Yesterday I melted. It was so flipping hot in my room, and I did not want to repeat yesterday, so I wore less makeup, to be honest. And I have this little striped dress which kind of goes to my knees, and this dress is from H&M. It is a very old dress. To be honest, this dress was about $5, and I got it about 6 to 7 years ago in Las Vegas at H&M, and I've had it ever since because I just love it that much. It's freaking comfy. I feel like it fits my body type really well. It's just a great dress. This, however, is very new, fairly new actually. I got this from Target, and this is just kind of a chambray like jean shirt, which is really nice. I like the fact that it has the pockets up front. And then for my shoes, I have my fake Birks. My mother-in-law got these for me. Where? Uh-oh. My mother-in-law got these for me back, I don't know, over the summer. At the beginning of the summer, she got these for me at Bonton. So that's what I have on this morning. I feel really good about our planning session last night. I'm gonna set you guys down. So last night we ended up staying really, really late. We kind of made little promises to each other that we would try to have really one late night, maybe even a week or every other week. It looks like we might not have to stay late for another like week. We might have a week off and then have to stay late the next week after that. But we had a lot of planning done. We've got our kids grouped for reading. We have our kids pretty much grouped for math. We need to check through some assessments that we're going to give them today, which we did not get to yesterday. Then we were able to plan out kind of what we were doing for writing. We planned out what we were doing for our completing our reading like whole group lessons to try to set up our reading workshop. I don't know. It was just really, really good. We've got 2 weeks planned. That's not shabby at all. That's really good. So this morning I don't really have that much to do, to be honest. I'm gonna try to get some things printed. I'm gonna try to get some materials together, especially for the next week and for the remainder of this week. But for the most part, I think I have pretty much everything. I do need to start planning for the morning meetings for next week. The word of the week is gonna be responsible. Today we are sticking with positivity this week and being positive, because that is part of what our pride means. So we have 5 letters in pride. We have positive, responsible, involved, diverse, and empathy. And so for the first 5 weeks of school, we're going to focus our morning meetings around pride, and our activities are going to be around pride. Our discussions are going to be on pride, sharing. It feels like a little bit more of like a grown-up morning meeting, to be honest. So today the kids are going to talk about how they can be positive with others. And I don't know if you guys have seen, like, people will put like little sticky notes and they'll stick them around the buildings or in like the bathroom stalls to kind of like have like a really nice like positive affirmation that you can put out there. The kids are going to create their own with index cards, and then we're just going to kind of put them up around the room. So they're going to write a positive affirmation today, and then some really fun stuff for the rest of the week. I'm not joking. Thursday or Wednesday might have to do with dolls, and Thursday might have to involve water. Who knows? So I'm gonna start trying to plan out my morning meetings for next week. I need to go and check on my mentee this morning because I didn't really see her yesterday. So I'm gonna go check on her, see how she is doing today, and then I think that's really about it, because I have my little booklets on Google Drive. I'm set, y'all. Like, I am feeling good. I went to the grocery store this morning. I got milk. I got some gluten-free rice. Gluten-free rice macaroni pasta. I hope this is good. And I got like regular milk for cereal because I have boxes of cereal in my classroom. All right, I'm feeling super positive today. I am going to go check out my mentee, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Feeling very bubbly. Oh, by the way, have you guys been watching Sharp Objects? Oh my gosh, I finished it last night. Holy moly, it blew my mind. I may have had to call Junior, teaching 3rd with Mr. G. I had to call him and just kind of talk it out, because holy moly, like, it was just mind blowing. You guys, if you're not watching Sharp Objects, it's on HBO. I believe you can get it on HBO on demand, which is really good. You need to go watch it. And then I told Teaching 3rd with Mr. G, and if this is another series that you have not watched, I love TV series, by the way. Halt and Catch Fire is a really good one, and I think he would totally love it, because he's like into like the 80s vibe, and this is totally like that 70s 80s vibe when video games started coming up. It's really, really good. My husband watched a lot of it without me because he's a turd, and I know he watches these videos, so you're a turd. All right, I'm gonna go check out my mentee. Gotta go. So I realized that I never showed you guys the box that I use in order to do the house sort, and how we ended up making it. So I do apologize about that. I guess the week got away from me. So I'm going to show you how we did that now. So the first thing that Trent did, because Trent made this, not me, is he cut out using just like a box cutter, cut out the shape. Now he had to find a box that was tall enough, wide enough, all that good stuff. And then he had to find containers to be fit inside of it. The containers would house like the confetti or any type of activity that you have inside of it. So then once that was done, I did not even tape it. He would probably be so mad at me if he realized I didn't even tape it. But I'm going to take out all the junk that I used to stuff it with and show you guys what the inside looks like. So we use IKEA buckets in order to place our objects inside of it. I didn't even have to glue these down because they have such a tight fit that all I needed was a bunch of bags just to make sure that they didn't rustle or move around, which they really didn't because it's a tight fit. But what he did is he took just some sort of like what is this called, tissue paper that you would like use for gifts, and all he did was wrap it and just taped it along the sides. You can kind of see here he filled it in, taped it along the side. So when that was ready, he then cut out he had the little objects cut out, and then all we did was stick it inside. Now, if you have buckets that are a little bit smaller, you would have to kind of tape these down to the box itself so it didn't kind of rustle around. But again, you can use something like as simple as garbage bags in order to be able to make sure that they don't shift and stuff. But that was really about it. So I'm going to now take these apart, throw the box away, get rid of all this other stuff, and I'm gonna stuff that into my Big Joes over there. We read online somewhere that because I had heard that Big Joes don't really last very long, like they deflate a lot, that a teacher online was using plastic garbage bags to kind of shove them inside, and like she would just add garbage bags as she got them. She would add them, and I'm like, that's genius. Y'all, I am sweating. Like, this is not makeup, this is shiny sweat. Super gross. I have my morning message up. I'm going back to using it on my TV screen. Here's what it looks like. It just says Tuesday, has the date in there. I have some assignments that they need to make sure they finish, some things that are happening, our unpacking procedures, and then the morning message up here. Super sweet, simple, to the point. I really like how I can just display it and then I don't have to worry about it. If you are curious as to where you can get this, I think it is up for free on my my store that you can go to, theletteredclassroom.com. So you can head over there and then grab this for free. It has like all the days of the weeks, and then it has like good morning, I think, is just like a generic-y if you want to use it that way. But it's editable, so you can add in like your own text and all that good junk, so it's very easy to use. But anyways, I am now going to just kind of relax for a little bit. I don't have much longer. Actually, no, I do. I have like 20 minutes, which I'm feeling good about it. We're going to be starting our meetings pretty soon. We have meetings pretty much every single day. The first cycle, they didn't have us go to our morning meetings at 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, eventually, starting I think on tomorrow's day 6, so then it would be Thursday. Starting on Thursday, I'm going to have a meeting to go to out of like 4 out of the 6 days. 2 days I have to myself. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get my things together. I'm feeling really good about the day. Feeling super good about the day. I'm pumped. I'm gonna get out some sticky notes and place them over there in the kiddos sections, which is here, and be ready for today. I don't really know what else to do. I feel like I'm way too prepared. Is that possible? These are nice. It was a really good day overall. I am kind of tired, really sweaty. I just got done meeting with my mentee, going over just like reading workshop and writing workshop and getting her some plans together so that she can get those started and get those rolling out. And now I am all talked out. I am ready to go home. I have a little bit of work. Today was going to be one of my earlier days that I wasn't going to stay so late. So I have a couple of things that I'm going to grade while I'm at home. Maybe I'll show you that. I'm not really sure. It depends on how tired I am tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and start making my way home. My room looks great. Everything is clean. I wanted to show you guys their turn the lights off. I wanted to show you guys their little cards that they made for their like affirmations. Look at their little cards. Aren't they cute? Super cute. The math assessment ended up taking way longer than what we anticipated, so we had to kind of bump some things back, but that's okay. It wasn't that big of a deal. I need to take my hopes and dreams home to start kind of correcting those and fixing them so that I can give feedback to my kiddos before they finish their final copy. But other than that, reading was a hot mess. I felt like everything else went pretty well. Like math went well, writing went well. They did their brainstorms, which by the way, I do want to show you guys that before we leave. But holy moly, reading was a hot flippin' mess. I'm gonna turn the light on in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in reading we had to try to give them their like reader spy camp, which is this year, and we have it on like a digital version on Google Drive so that they could take it to their drive. Well, it's in Schoology. They would take it to their Google Drive. It would create an individual copy for them, just like Google Classrooms, and they could fill it out there. Our technology is not the best at the moment. We're all very frustrated, but that's okay. They're gonna fix it and it's gonna be fine. And if we use paper for just a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. So because our technology was kind of being irritating, it took me a while to get everybody into their accounts and being able to get the document into their Google Drive. I finally got my entire group down, but it took the entire ELA time, which is a little bit of a bummer. But today what they were supposed to do was they were working on this piece here, which was talking about what books do I like, and perfect time because we have Scholastic. So we were going to give them Scholastic books. They were going to have the opportunity to talk about books that they like, kind of fill some of those in. Because I didn't get to it today, my other two partners did. I didn't. I'm going to have to push that until tomorrow. And then we're sending those home with papers and information about where they can purchase books. But they're gonna get to do that, and then I'm gonna get them in to start charting some of their stamina, because we didn't get to talk about stamina either. So the kids are gonna have an opportunity to log their stamina here. And then in writing, we talked about brainstorming yesterday, and we had those Schoology kind of pictures that the kids got to look through and be able to try to generate some ideas of different stories that they would have on different topics. So today they worked on the brainstorming for an actual story. So they had to go back and they had to select one story. And from that story, they then started working on generating. And we talked about, because we have so many different levels, we talked about really thinking about yourself as a writer and where you are in writing. And if writing isn't like one of your stronger suits, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I promise we're gonna work with you. But we gave them different versions. So we have this one, which is a beginning, middle, and end, then a feeling, either how you feel or how the character feels. Then we have one that's like this, which is a hook, and then first, next, then last. Then we go into our friends who are on burger paragraphs. So they're working on a burger paragraph here. Then we have friends who are working on plot maps, and they're using plot maps to be able to generate their stories. So talking about the exposition, what's the inciting incident, the raising action, climax, falling action, and then the resolution. And then we start going into paragraphs when they have multiple paragraphs, and we said, well, here's one version, and they can use multiple versions. Like you could use the plot map and do this one, or burger paragraph, and you know, have 3 burger paragraphs if you needed it to be that way, and that's okay. It just kind of depends on what you specifically need. And as we get to know our learners, we're going to start kind of helping them pick and choose brainstorms that are going to best fit their needs. So this one is 3 paragraphs. So it has the event here, and then what are the 3 details there. This is the exact same thing, minus it has 4 paragraphs, and then finally 5 paragraphs. So that's kind of what they worked on for writing today. They kind of generated their story, their how they were going to go about their story, and then they have the opportunity to be able to write tomorrow. So we're going to work on our writing piece. So that was pretty much it for today. The math assessment took forever, bless their hearts. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get ready to go home. I need to figure out what I'm gonna cook for dinner, because I have no idea. I have no idea. Breakfast? Anybody feeling breakfast today? All right. So I decided to install a little mirror here so that I can do better outfit of the days, in case you guys still like these. I don't know, I might get boring, y'all just let me know. But I figured it would be easier for you guys to end up seeing me in the end. It is another incredibly hot day, so I tried to wear something that I had that was appropriate for school, and yet I wouldn't melt in. And of course, like, I had no dresses that were clean, so I had to wear pants. It is what it is. So here's my kind of my outfit. I have this little shirt from Shein. I don't know if it's pronounced Shein or if it's pronounced Shine. I don't know, but it's a top that I got probably about 2 years ago. It's really cute. It has kind of the ruffles down in the front. It drops a little bit lower in the back. And then I have my black pants, the same ones that I wore on, I think, Monday. And these are from Ann Tailored Loft. And then I also have these shoes that I got from J. Crew. They have kind of a suede feel to them. And then my necklace is from Stella and Dot, and I got this probably like 7 years ago, which is kind of crazy. But that's really about it. I don't really wear much. I have my Burberry watch that my mom gave me, and then that's the gist of it. My little tag, like my badge tag that I'm wearing, is from Kate Spade, and it has like the little bow on it. I really like it because I can put my cards in there. But that's it. That's my outfit of the day. So this morning we're going to continue with our morning meeting with positivity and talking a lot about positive and incorporating some activities that help them be a little bit more positive. And this is just kind of how I do my morning meeting. I feel like it's a little bit more of a grown-up version. Although today the kids might not think that. But I was looking around for some things that would help my kids in order to be positive, some activities that I can incorporate into my morning meeting. And then I came across this, I guess, tradition, folktale. I'm trying to think of the word and I can't remember it. It'll come to me later on. But it is to create worry dolls. This is my little worry doll. And with the worry doll, I was able to find a picture book. Oh, how perfect, right? And the picture book is called Silly Billy, and it's about Billy who has a tendency to worry. And his parents try to tell him to worry. None of those things are ever gonna happen. We would never let anything hurt you, harm you. And he ends up going to stay with Grandma. And he is all worried about staying with Grandma because he doesn't like to stay in places like spend the night at other people's houses. Well, he ends up getting up because he's so worried while he's trying to go to sleep. And he goes and tells Grandma, I'm too worried. I can't go to sleep. And she says, well, you know what, love? Like, that's happened to me before. So she goes and she finds a bunch of worry dolls and she gives them to him. She says, I want you to say a worry to each of the dolls and put them underneath your pillow. And then that way your dolls can have the worries, and then that you can go to sleep. So I found kind of like the psychological piece behind it. And psychologically, if you're able to kind of articulate and tell your worries to others, it helps to get it out of your brain and helps to put it onto something else. So that's kind of the purpose of the worry doll. So it's a Guatemalan tradition, and it's something that the kids still kind of do. Or is it a tradition? So worry dolls came from Central America, country of Guatemala. They are made of tiny pieces of wood and scraps of cloth and thread. Long ago, the children of Guatemala made these dolls, and when they went to bed at night, they would tell a worry to each one before placing them under their pillows and going to sleep. In this way, they would wake up in the morning feeling much less troubled. To this day, children in Guatemala trust their dolls to take away their worries as they sleep, and this custom has now spread around the world. So it's just a really cute little story, and it's getting them to be able to be a little bit more positive with themselves and with their peers and with school by articulating their worries to their worry doll. So I'm going to read the story today, and then I'm going to let the kids be able to make their little dolls. So the way that we're making these cute little guys is we have small popsicle sticks. Like, these are the tiny little beanie ones. And then I went and found some thread, and I used to have a ton of it because I used to be that person that would make like bracelets for my kids. Kind of weird. But I found a bunch of like the bracelet threads that you can buy out there. So here's kind of what it looks like. This says embroidery floss. I'm using it to make worry dolls. But the kids are gonna get to pick 2 different colors, and they draw a little face on it. I had this version, and then I did have another one where I actually like drew the hair on the back, which would be really, really like the back head hair, which would be really cute. Not back hair, but back head hair. And so the kids are going to get to make one of these today, and they're going to keep them around them. And I thought it was a really just simple, easy way talking about how being able to express your worries to others, because we're not silly when we worry about things. We all tend to worry about different things, and that's okay. But if you express your worries, then you have the opportunity to be more positive. You let go of your negative. You'll be more positive. So that's kind of what we're doing today for this morning. For ELA, we're going to do what we did not get to do yesterday, which is the scholastics and being able to get it onto their booklets. We printed out some booklets in case we have kids who are not able to get onto it. But like I said, all of my kids can get onto it through Google Drive. So I don't think I'm going to have any worries there. No worries. So that's kind of what's going to happen in the morning. We are kind of reevaluating what we're doing in math because I think the assessments that we gave our 4th graders, they don't have anything with place value. So we may have to put something in there for place value today. We'll give our kiddos, our 5th and 6th graders, the opportunity to be able to do some IXL review today. And then we're gonna go into our hopes and dreams. So I was grading hopes and dreams. I think I have like 5 left that I was not able to get to last night. So I'm gonna do 5 hopes and dreams, 5 more, grade them, get those checked off, and then the kids are going to start working on their bubbles, which is what I'm working on that computer over there. I got to finish up like the lines on the bubbles and the speech bubbles and the thought bubbles, and that's where they're going to end up putting their hopes and dreams this year. So a lot to be able to get done. I think it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a hot day. There were schools that were dismissing early around me because it was so hot, like heat advisory hot. So I don't think that's going to end up happening to us, but it's hot outside. It's feeling better in here today, whereas the past few days it's been super muggy when I came into my room. It's just like between the combination of like the heat and the humidity, it's just making it absolutely miserable. We're gonna check through it. All right, so I'm gonna go try to work on my speech bubble items, and then making copies this morning, making sure that I have everything that I need to have, which I think I do. So I'm not gonna stress out too much about it, and then I will catch up with you guys in a little while. Look at the little... So I'm home. I decided to leave immediately after school. I told myself that I was going to leave early today, and that's exactly what I did. I packed my things up and I left early today. We did, however, during our break, for our last break that we have at the end of the day, we're able to get our kids grouped for math. So I brought home just kind of their math assessments to kind of look at them a little bit more, get an idea of how I'm going to start my groups on Monday. Well, not on Monday because we have Monday off, but on Tuesday, because we are going to start math groups this coming Tuesday, which is a little exciting. That means that we're starting to kind of get into the flow of things, which I'm loving. Everything went really well today. I think we had kind of a slow afternoon, especially trying to get in some more 4th grade assessments, which was then what we kind of quickly graded together, and then we're able to put them in some groups. But other than that, everything was good. I'm excited to be home. I'm gonna start making some salsa, like right here, because I need fresh salsa. I also put on a crock pot of pinto beans, and that's gonna end up making us like a really good batch of frijoles for later on, and we use them for breakfast and I use them for lunch, and I really and truly I'm just craving them with some fresh salsa, to be honest. So I have that going. The boys are playing downstairs for a little bit. We're gonna pull them up once dinner is ready. Husband has like grilled lettuce that he wants to make. That's fine, but we have a ton of leftovers, so we're just gonna eat that, minus me. I'm making frijoles and salsa. So I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the morning when I get back to school. So today for my outfit, I have, these are from Ann Taylor Loft as far as my pants go. I don't know how to describe these. Like, they go up really, really high, and they're kind of baggy, which is nice. And then I just roll them up down at the bottom here. But they're nice, they're comfy. I think they're a little bit more light, like the lighter pants, and I don't know like the actual like name to be able to describe them. But these are from Ann Taylor Loft. They're like a navy blue color. I have a little tank from Target that I've purchased not that long ago. It's nice. It's like a little spaghetti strap here. And then I just put a cardigan that I've had from Banana Republic for, holy moly, I swear my clothes are so old. I think I've had this cardigan since probably a good, how old is my kid? He is going on to being 12, almost 12 years. That's how old this cardigan is. But it's just a nice little gray cardigan. It's very easy. It's from Banana Republic. And then I have my shoes that my mom got me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and these are my Tory Burch like nude flats. Still wearing the same exact necklace that I wore yesterday, the same badge that I had on yesterday. And then I did my hair the way that my husband hates. He hates it when I wear my hair like this. He says it looks ridiculous, and I think it looks adorable. So I just kind of braided kind of up here at the top a little bit, put it in a little knot, and then I left everything else kind of messy. He says he doesn't like it, but that's okay. I like it. That's all that's important. So this is my outfit for today. Same watch. I pretty much wear the same jewelry over and over again until I get bored of it. Yesterday's activity, when it came to our positivity like morning meeting, we worked on the worry dolls. The kids really loved it. We were afraid that 6th grade might not think it was as rad, but they love all the cool things that I come up with, so they loved it. They actually all really enjoyed making their worry dolls. And today we are going to focus on like acts of kindness, things that can really kind of bring out the positive and the ripples and effects that kindness has on other people. Just by being positive, you can make somebody else's day so much better. So we're going to read the book Each Kindness, which is such a great picture book. Holy moly, such a great picture book. Let's go find it. Hi. These are all my books. Holy moly. I was wondering why I couldn't find my Each Kindness book, and it's because, and I finally remembered, that I let another teacher borrow it. So I'm either gonna have to go and grab it from her and borrow it for this morning, or I can just play it on YouTube and just kind of go with that, which I think both are going to end up being fine. So the discussion is going to be acts of kindness and how kindness can really help you be positive. It helps you be positive when you help someone, but then it also feels really good and it makes you a positive person when somebody else is helping you or they are kind to you. And we're going to talk about how like kindness adds like ripple effects. So like for example, we're going to give them a, I already like threw all this stuff in here. We're going to give them a cup of water like this, and it's going to be completely still, and this is how we're going to act. We're going to tell them that this here is a person almost, right? And that they don't really have any ripples. So each of the objects, no matter how small, so they start with like pretty big objects. We have like a poker chip. I think there's still a penny in there, as you can see it. But as you throw it in, you see large ripple effects, so you see lots of ripples. The bigger objects being some of those greater impacts that they have on like multiple people. But even when you get down to something as simple and as small as like a toothpick, there's still a ripple. You still see it. So no matter how small the kindness is or the impact that you have on somebody, you still kind of see that ripple effect from it. So that's what we're doing today for this morning for this activity, and we're just kind of having those discussions. I think it's important to know that we don't have to have something where they're like playing a game every time. I think this is like I've been preaching all week. It's that grown-up activity, which is really nice for them because they need it. They need to have an understanding that you're getting older and you're not going to sit and just play all the time. It is what it is. And then this morning I'm going to be doing a continuing in with my booklet, and we're going to go into questioning today. And I have to go and pick out a book that I want to use for questioning. I have a couple in mind, but I haven't like dead set myself on which book I want to use, so I need to pick that out. And then this afternoon, what are we doing this afternoon? For writing, the kids are going to continue working on their writing. We're going to talk about revising and editing today and kind of what that means. We wanted to have kind of like that raw piece of writing material where we kind of discuss the writing process. We give them some of the tools that we need to give them in order for them to create a writing piece, and then we wanted them to have it turned in on Friday so that we can get an idea and start looking at what are some of the things that kiddos are missing, because we're going to do writing groups whenever we get started with that. And then in math, I think we're going to be doing an activity where they're going to be working collaboratively. We're going to talk about collaboration in math and how important it is, but how do we collaborate in math? And then we are also going to have them finish up and work on their house banners that we can get posted outside of our rooms. And I think that's it for the day. Like, we don't really have that much. Tomorrow's going to end up being a half day, so we have kind of a odd schedule. We're going to eat with the kids because whenever we have half days, they split the lunches by grade levels, and it really messes us up when we have that. So we just asked if we could just have the kids grab their lunch and then just come back and we'll just eat together. I know that we'd lose our lunch, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll be fine. And we'll just eat with the kids. So that's kind of the game plan for the rest of the week. And then week 2 is in the book. So I'm gonna get together all of the other little materials for the other teachers so that they can do this activity this morning, and then we're gonna go from there. That flipping thing is so loud. I am not focused at all today, which is not a good thing because I keep looking around the room and I'm like, I know there's something that I have to do. Or maybe it's not scatterbrain. Maybe it's more of just me not being able to remember anything and I'm just getting super old. And I have a meeting at 8 o'clock this morning. I have 30 minutes to try to be productive. It's not really working out in my favor. The odds are ever in your favor. Is that the way it goes? And may the odds be ever in your favor. That's the way it goes. That's right, right? That's right, right? 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 I think that's right. Oh, I gotta focus. So I was able to get all of my little cups together. They have inside of them poker chips, they have little beads, they have rubber bands, pennies, and then also some toothpicks. Each like homeroom is gonna get 6 cups, so we're just gonna do it by table. So I'm just gonna have one table here, one table there, one table there, and then one table there. And then I'll have probably one more right here in this little area. So there we go. I'm ready for my morning meeting, which is nice. And then I need to pick out my book. I forgot to pick out my book. Picking out my book right now. So I think I have the perfect book for my connections today, my like to teach my connections lesson. This is one that we had the author come when I worked in Birmingham as a kindergarten teacher in Birmingham, Alabama. And this book is called Maple and Willow Apart, which it is such a sweet, sweet story. And the author was really, really nice too. But the story talks about how these two girls who are sisters, this one starts to go to school and then this one is kind of left at home, and at the beginning this one just misses her so much and she's so excited about going to school. And I have connections because my 2 boys are that way right now. It's so funny because like Ian was so excited about going to school, Blaine is like so upset that he doesn't have his like play buddy anymore, and now I'm starting to kind of realize, which is what's happening in this book, Ian is starting to miss Blaine as well. Like he'll come home and I see that he plays more with him now than I felt like he did over the summer, because he just kind of got irritated in being with him like all the time. So I think this is going to be a really good book for me. What's nice about coming back. So the kids are going to see how I'm going to make connections, and I'm going to pull it up. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, asking questions. Did I say I was supposed to do questions today, wasn't I? Darn it, that's a connections book. Hold on. Okay, so I went on ahead and was able to find 2 different books. The first one is the one that I'm going to use today, which is the Wednesday Surprise. It's such a great book for asking questions because it kind of reveals something to you in the very end of the book. And this is why I really like having this type of sort of like a resource for me, because I can change it up and use any type of book. So for instance, like with connections that I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to use Maple and Willow Apart, which again is just another really great book, but it's nice because I can personally make connections to it, whereas maybe my 2 partner teachers don't make the same type of connections, but I'm just modeling it for them. And then it's the end of the day now, and as I was sitting there trying to film about my read aloud that I was going to do in my reading block time, somebody walked in my room, and then my day was incredibly busy after that. So unbelievably busy. So I'm going to share my book that I ended up using. I was talking about the book that I was going to use for my questioning, and I have always used this one, and I really, really enjoy this one. It's called The Wednesday Surprise by Eve Bunting. It's a fantastic book, but you don't really know where the author is going with it until the very end. Well, you kind of think you know, but you really don't. So I'm using this book for it. So I was starting to kind of mention, I think I was starting to mention that I really like how I use the Spy Camp, and this is available in my TBT store. I'm creating some for characters as well, but what's so nice about this is that it has just kind of the skills that you really want to focus on when you're starting to create that reader's workshop, but you can use any text that you want to use. Your mini lesson is up to how you use it, so you can really customize this and make it fit for your lessons, for your needs. Now, I don't put in their lessons, I don't write the lessons out for you. I give this to you as a resource, but then I also put some really good book titles that I think that would be really beneficial for when you're teaching certain skills. But I will pretty much just sit the kids down. I will set my purpose for the day. We'll talk about we'll talk about the target that we have for that day, and then I will conduct my mini lesson using my picture book. So I will model for them the strategy that I want them to use using one of these booklets. Thankfully, I have my Apple TV, so I just pull it up on my iPad and I type everything out on my iPad so they can see how I'm using this booklet. And then when I'm done, I give them the purpose, I set their stage. I said, today as you're going back out, you're going to read your book. I want you to be thinking of some questions that you have, and I want you to jot those questions down. So then I give them the opportunity. We talk about stamina, how we're continuing to build that stamina, and then we log our day in for that. And then I send the kids off to go and read with their purpose and to also help them build that stamina piece. And then I will sit back and I will just kid watch, making those observations of who is it that's looking away. What are those students that are not really focused on their books? Are they actually flipping the pages the way they need to be flipping pages? I wrote down times when certain kids were writing. It was really interesting because there were some kids who they would pause and they would write, but a lot of them, I think the majority of my class, they wouldn't. They actually stopped waited until the very end to write their questions down. So that was another really good observation that I was able to make as I'm just walking around my room. And then I will bring them back together. We'll discuss that purpose, here's what we were focusing on for today was the questioning piece, and I had them share some questions that they had in their books, and the kids really like it because they get the opportunity to hear of other books that other kids are reading, and it's just that nice wrapping it up type of experience. So I like this for that reason, that I'm able to use whatever book that I want to use. I don't have to use the same book. All it is really just those true skills. So you have, and these are all out of order, I apologize, but there's the stamina page that looks like this. You have the questioning page, and this is available also in a full page version if you want to use that. My room has been super popular today. So then it goes into, you have the book topics, which is something else that we did. We ended up doing this with Scholastic catalogs, which was really nice. We have making connections is also on there, so teaching them how to make connections, how to go through and make a prediction, and then we also have making inferences along with visualizing using words and a picture. And then we also have summarizing, which I accidentally left one of those out and I have to go back and fix it. So it's already been updated and online, but I left mine out when I printed it for some reason. But there's a summarizing page where they can summarize what they've currently read for that day versus not the whole book, but it's more about here's what I read, because as good readers we always think back and we summarize, reflecting on what happened that we just read that day, so that we constantly are double checking, making sure that we're understanding what we're reading. And then at the end of it, I have a reflection on their reading overall, so that the kids have the opportunity to say, here are some things that I feel like I'm really strong at as a reader, and here are some skills that I feel like I really need to grow in later on. So that's the booklet, and I think it works really, really well for me. If you are curious as to how to use it, go check out the link down below and you can see it all on the store. But I really like the fact that I am able to truly customize it with any book that I would like to, and my mini lesson stays my mini lesson, and I don't have to change things up or feel like I don't really know what's going on. This just helps my kids be organized. It takes the reader's notebook out of the out of the page. No, that's not right. Out of the picture, that's what I meant. It takes the reader's notebook out of the picture, and it really just focuses it on a few different skills, versus having this huge notebook that I feel like I have to maintain and have to keep up. I don't have to do that now, which is really nice. We had one activity that I really want to share before I head home, and then I really seriously have to go. So in math today, we were talking about collaboration and how we collaborate in math, and what are some of the things that when we're working in group, how do we work in groups? Well, the kids had an activity that we made them do, and it's called 4 4s. Well, they had a sheet that was 1 through 20. Let me see if I can find, I think I had an extra one. There it is. Let me show you this. So we made this sheet right here. It's called 4 4s is the activity, and it says, can you find a number between 1 and 20 using only 4 4s and any operation? So the kids had to come up with an operation that was able to get them to their number. So they had to do all of as many as they possibly could to be able to do it in a group. It was a fun little activity. Like, truly, it's like one of those brain teasers, but the important piece that we really wanted to kind of hit home with was the collaboration, and how do we collaborate, how do we have discussions as a group. And you were really able to see kind of who works really well in groups and then who doesn't. But what I love the most is that before we actually went off and we kind of demonstrated for them the activity so they had an understanding of it, I sat my group down and I was just like, what are some things that we don't like to have when we work in groups? Like, there are all these things that we always talk about, like, here's kind of what it needs to be, but I wanted them to share some things that they don't like happening during group time. So they created this little we created this little anchor chart and listed a bunch of the things that they don't like. So they don't like people who do what they want. They don't like people who do not listen, who talk over. This says shouting, not the other thing. They don't like people who are bossy when only one person is working, when there's disagreements, people leaving people out, when there's calling out, when the group gets nowhere and they don't help. They do, however, love it when people help out in group, when there's kindness, when they pull their weight, when they're raising hands, when they're working together, respecting, when they're on task, they're not yelling, they're positive, they're adding to ideas, and they're sharing ideas, and they're making plans. So this was kind of their, like, here are the norms for group activities and group work. And they seriously had the best time doing those 4-4 activities. I had like one group of boys that were just all about it because they're very, like, they've always been like that since last year. They're always challenged in math. They really like those types of math, like brain teaser activities. So they had so much fun with it, and I was glad that we were able to kind of get that in. So tomorrow's gonna be a half day. I'm very excited. I get to wear jeans. I'm gonna go home and kind of get together the rest of my thoughts and look over my plans. I felt super scattered today, and I was kind of in a crabby mood, to be honest, which is never fun, but I'm starting to get out of it a little bit, which is nice because I'm gonna go home and I don't want to be crabby at home. So I'm gonna get my area cleaned up and then I'm gonna head home. So I told my husband this morning that I was gonna go to school looking like I straight up walked out of the streets, and I probably do this morning, not gonna lie. So this morning I still have the same jewelry that I've always that I've worn all week. I have my T-Swift t-shirt, so it has like the big snake pocket. I love this shirt. It is honestly just a really comfy t-shirt. It really is, like, and I love the color of it. So I wore my t-shirt today because we got to wear jeans. And then I know that this is a little wrinkly and I do apologize, but I have this, it is like Easy Tiger, just like a jean t-shirt. I don't know how to describe these, from Topshop. So that's where this shirt is from. It's nice and baggy. It's very, very, very comfortable. And then I have these jeans which have like multiple buttons here. Do you see the multiple buttons? And this is from Target. And then I'm wearing my fake Birks once again. And these are from Bonton. I don't even know, to be honest, what brand it is. Like I said, they're fake Birks. That's what I'm wearing. So that's what I got going on today. I did wash my hair, so my hair looks nice, right? But that's about all I have going for me today. So every month my school has a half day. Typically it's followed by like a 3-day weekend, which is kind of nice. So we have a half day today. We're gonna have the kids be here in the morning, and then they will leave at about, I think it's 12:30-ish. And then we'll have PD for the rest of the afternoon. I think we're going to be working with our sister school. I'm pretty sure we are. They're going to be coming in. We're going to meet together like as 4th grade ELA teams or 4th grade teams, I think, to be able to go over some stuff. I'm not really sure, to be honest. They did send us the agenda. I didn't really look over it all that well yet. So that's kind of what's happening this morning. As far as the kids go, we're going to have a normal morning meeting, kind of reviewing and reflecting on being positive this week, kind of sharing some of our thoughts, going over our awe journal that they've been working on filling out all week, and then we are going to bring them together to talk about our schedule today. Because previously, and this was last year, we would have to on half days be split up by grade levels. It was a really big pain in the butt for us because we would lose a day of instruction every single month, which was not what we really wanted to happen. So what we decided is that in order to kind of keep our routine going, at the end of the year last year, we had lunch together as a team in our room. So we went in about 10 minutes early before the first lunch, and we grabbed our lunches and came back to the classroom, and that worked out really, really well for us. So I think we're gonna do that again, or try to do it every single month this year. So we're going to talk to the kids about that. They're going to do another reading workshop. We're going to go over the connections, which I have my book that I shared with you guys yesterday on Maple Goes to School, I think. Oh no, it's Maple and Willow Apart. Maple and Willow Apart. And they're going to finish up working on their writing, and they're going to turn it in as an assignment. So that's pretty much how our day is going to go. I feel like we also have a dojo reward every single Friday. We're going to give them a dojo reward, just an extra like 15-20 minutes of recess if they did make their dojo mark. So we'll be checking their dojos because we've been using them this week. And that's really about it. I need to send an email out to parents, so I'm about to open up my computer and get that going, and making sure that I have like all of the bits and pieces that I needed to put in there. It's really hot in here. I do have collab this morning. I'm trying to decide. I think I want to go to the ELA, 4th grade ELA collab, so I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And that's really about it. I'm sorry guys, I really can't think this morning. I think I need more coffee. It was a hot mess in my house this morning. So Ian decided that I woke him up at 6 o'clock like I always do. This whole like morning routine for me this morning is like completely stressing me out. So I woke Ian up at 6 o'clock like I always do, and then I go downstairs and I'm making my coffee. I'm starting to put my makeup on, that kind of thing, because I always do it downstairs. I don't like to wake people up in the morning. And I wait like 20 minutes later, and I'm like, it doesn't take this long to pick out a picture day outfit. Like, I don't understand why he's not downstairs. So I go back upstairs to go wait, and he's still freaking asleep. I had the lights on, he was still knocked out. So he is now running 20 minutes late, and it was just a hot mess. Blaine ended up waking up this morning, so Blaine was running around doing his Blaine thing, and we were trying to get Ian ready and out of the door by 7 o'clock. We have got to get this new routine down.